Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at the second portion of Acts chapter 18 and all of Acts chapter 19. We're actually going to cover the entirety of chapter 18 in our summary here because it's just easier to do it that way. So Acts chapter 18 drops Paul into Corinth, a pretty wealthy, chaotic, morally complicated city. Think about ports, trade routes, temples, and a whole mix of cultures and philosophies that tend to collide and conflict with each other. For the first hearers, this wasn't a mission trip destination. It was one of the hardest places imaginable for a church to actually get going. Paul works with Aquila and Priscilla, some tent makers. What mattered here wasn't the job, it was partnership. Ministry expanded through some shared work, shared meals, and shared life. That's how the early church grew, and we could probably learn a little bit of that today. As usual, Paul preaches to the synagogues, and also he faces resistance. But right when discouragement could have derailed everything, God gave Paul a vision. Do not be afraid. I'm with you. I have many in this city who are my people, is the message he gets. To the first hearers, this was reassurance. God already knows who's going to respond. So Paul stays a year and a half. One of his longest stops, planting a church in a place no one expected to see one ever be present. The chapter ends with Apollos, an eloquent teacher who knows the scriptures well, but doesn't yet have the full picture of Jesus' work. Aquila and Priscilla quietly take him aside, explain the things a little bit more accurately, and then Apollos becomes a powerful preacher. Early discipleship at its best. Humble correction, patient teaching, and kingdom impact. Again, something we can probably learn from today. Acts chapter 19 moves the story to Ephesus, one of the major spiritual centers in the ancient world. The city revolved around magic practices and massive temple of Artemis. So the first hearers wouldn't have imagined an easy reception. Paul begins by meeting the group who knew John's baptism, repentance, preparation, all the things. But they didn't understand the message of Jesus. When they hear the gospel, they receive the Spirit and step into the fullness of Christian life. It's a reminder some people are spiritually hungry, but missing some crucial pieces of the story. Paul then teaches for 2 years in the hall of Tyrannus, and Luke says all the residents of Asia heard the word. Fear spreads and many believers openly confess their old practices. They bring out their magic scrolls worth a fortune. They burn them all, not out of fanaticism, but out of liberation. They're free now. The gospel has set them free. So what all this stuff means to us: God plants churches in hard places on purpose. Ministry often grows through simple relationships. Many people today, much like Apollos, just need the fuller picture of Jesus' life, and the gospel isn't an accessory. It dethrones old idols and exposes false powers. That's it for the friends.